This is the problem. Like, it's almost like someone's took similar types of shows and they've effectively distilled all of those shows into a formula. And this show has followed that formula, which is why I say that sometimes the plot just goes a bit weird. It's not necessarily that there's anything wrong with the plot. It's that you can know what's going to happen potentially 2 episodes in advance. You know who the bad guys are. You know who's spies. You know that there's this twist. You know that there's that twist. And you can see it all as if it was basically put up in neon lights. There's no sort of intrigue, I guess is the word I would use. There's nothing that's intriguing. It's just everything is like validation. Like, oh yeah, I am really smart. Clap, 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 clap. It's like validation that people can understand what's coming. And it's because it's been done so many other times in other shows, which I would say is one of the major weaknesses of the show. If they just had like a weird twist where actually, let's say Zing was a boxer. Do you know what I mean? Like something so absolutely stupid. Or Zing was working for the boxers because they'd abducted her brother or something like that. You'd have gone, oh, okay, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah. So for people, just so everyone's up to date, the boxers are the group, the organization who are trying to destroy the triads. In some form.
The boxers are the whole reason why basically Charles ends up in is it Los Angeles?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ends up in LA in the first place because they basically shoot his dad, who is one of the heads of the basically the triads.
Yeah. But the worst trope that they follow, and I held out hope while watching that they weren't going to do it, but it is where a new girl is introduced to the main character, and of course, this new girl is related to one of the warring groups. In this case, she is a high-ranking figure in the Boxers organization. And I really did. I held out hope, so much hope, that they weren't going to have her be a part of the organization. She was just going to happen to be a nice girl that is attracted to the main character, Bruce, and she gets caught up in all this nonsense with the triads and everything. But no. Turns out that she is very much a leading ranking figure in the Boxers organization, and she eventually, I wouldn't say kidnaps Bruce, because Bruce goes very much willingly with her, but she captures him, and then she gets all the information that she needs out of him, and it was just like, I was so depressed when that happened, because I was just like, oh, come on. Like, this has been done a million times before. And it wasn't even done in a clever way either.
No, I was just going to say that it's not even that it's been done a million times before. It's that it's been done in almost the identical way a million times before. And the way that they did it didn't even make any cognitive sense. Now, I have been told many a time that I overthink things. And I pull basically at threads that normal people might not pull at. But he meets her to resit a test for a class that she should be in. He's been at basically college or medical school, wherever he is. I think it's college. For at least several semesters, because we know this, because the clerk basically keeps telling him that he's been late on every tuition check, basically, for as long as he's been there. So we know that there's basically a standing history. And yet he doesn't know of the person in any way, shape, or form that is sitting this makeup test with him, who would be in his class where he's taking the test. So you'd at least have a vague recollection. You wouldn't have to sit there and introduce yourself to this person that you've basically spent maybe a year with already in the class. You'd at least have a recollection of who people are. I'll be honest, I've never been in a class in my life or at university or anything like that with loads of people that I didn't at least know of.
I have.
Like, it was like they were complete strangers, but they were in a setting where they wouldn't be complete strangers. They might not be friends, they might not talk, but they'd at least know of each other.
They should. Also, when they eventually did the reveal that she's working for the Boxers, I was thinking back to when she actually introduced herself. I will say she introduced herself in an amusing way. Like I thought that was amusing. She said
Even I
she
thought, even I thought that was a bit weird, where they were basically both recollecting over nervous poos.
yeah, it happens I think. But so the makeup test he's only doing the following day, right? How does she know that he's who he is and who he's related to?
Yeah, so she must know him in advance. But the other issue is that, yeah, that's actually a really good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Because Mama Sun and Bruce are in hiding. Bruce doesn't know that they're in hiding, but Mama Sun is very much in hiding. Eventually, and
They
Charles,
must know. They must know that Charles basically knows. So I'm guessing they just follow Charles
right,
because they don't know who she is or who Bruce is until he comes. Because there's literally a point in one of the episodes where basically the Boxers basically say that they shot Bar so that he would lead them to basically Bruce and his mother.
right. I will say,
Do you want to know what
usually,
I think the stupid thing is?
sure,
Just going back to the Grace thing, just because it's related. Um, so he's sitting the makeup test for the test that he's missed, or were led to believe when Charles gets attacked. Okay. The following day, after he sits that makeup test and basically meets her in the test where basically Charles gets attacked. We're then led to believe that he rushes out basically to get the car to rescue Charles. Why is she sitting the makeup test the day after?
I think she's just. I don't think she actually is sitting the test. I think she's just slidden her way in.
So you think she's just in the room?
Yeah.
Because obviously he runs away from that one when he sees the crazy lady outside.
Mm. No, I think I think she is very much just snuck her way in there. I don't think she's actually. I don't even
Right,
think
okay.
she's a real member of the college.
Yeah, which would make sense because, again, he would know her. And if he doesn't know her or hasn't seen her before and she's sitting a test, the first thing I'd go is, who the hell are you?
But he clearly doesn't seem to have much game when it comes to the ladies. So,
Mm.
yeah. but with regards to the Grace trope, at least she isn't saved by Bruce towards the end. Like he doesn't like try to rescue her or anything. She gets brutally killed.
Yeah, there's no redemption arc.
No, she
She's a
is.
bad guy. She dies a bad guy. Brilliant.
I wouldn't even
Which,
say a
yeah,
bad guy though. It's not like she's necessarily a bad. That's just it. Like, do we say that Charles and Bruce are the good guys? Like, Charles has killed a lot of people. Can we claim he's a good guy? Or are there any good guys in this actual show?
I don't think there
When you
is.
think about it.
I think the best way to probably describe it, I'd say there's probably one good guy, and that's Bruce. Everyone else are evil.
Well, even then, by the end, he gets corrupted by the whole
Precisely.
organization.
The Boxers, at best, you could say, were an anti-hero organization, but I think the irony is you hear snippets of basically like the story of the triads, and the triads were effectively formed from the people to fight the emperor's oppression in China. Historically, that's what the show seems to suggest. Anyways, whether that's true, I don't know. I'm not a triad. But the Boxers basically have risen up from the people to fight the oppression of the triads, which basically means that the Boxers are what the triads used to be. In a roundabout way, you could argue. But the problem with the Boxers is they go about some really, really, really shady stuff in order to do what they're going to do. The only thing that they seem not to want to do is harm anyone who isn't involved. So I definitely put them as an anti-hero. They're still killing people, but the people that they're killing have questionable morality themselves.